I'm Danielle Toronto, and we are customers of Marshall and Sterling. They have been amazing for us, for our business. They take care of our farm, our horses, our cars. It's basically one-stop shopping for us.
I'm Jimmy Toronto. Unfortunately, we've actually had to really use Marshall and Sterling for horse deaths, and I have to say that Marshall and Sterling has been an amazing company. They have taken care of things. It's been worry-free. The person we deal with, Missy, she takes it all upon herself. Once we go to her with the claim, she does it all for us. And I have to say, since we've been with Marshall and Sterling, I just can't think of going anywhere else. I put all my trust, all my faith in them.
podium setup is there, and I think you'll see quite a few riders taking the shorter line as an option over those, and he was just giving that a practice.
Yeah, and as you say, option, it wasn't necessarily put in as an option, but the riders have now decided it's an option, is the way of putting it.
When we were all walking the course, I saw a couple people sort of eyeing it and walking the line, and they moved a few bushes around, so that's too bad.
That's not the start you want. So 4 seconds added for that. So in a slightly different format here, you could still have the first fence down and still win the class.
Yeah, I think that's the fun thing in a format like this. It really, gives the riders a lot of incentive to go as fast as possible, because rather than being penalized with 4 faults, that's just 4 seconds added. So if you can, you still see in these formats sometimes riders who are really, really fast, maybe having a fence down and still manage to get a piece of it. Yeah,
Guy Williams in Great Britain was a good one at that. Always very good at that. And it's also going to be the Table C format that we use later on as second half in 2 second rounds of the upcoming team competition tonight. And for now, though, Gavin Harley is chasing things down. As I say, you've got 4 seconds to add at the moment. But again, that's why you see them keep up the pace. Unlike a Table A, you have the first fence down and everything drops into your boots. And he is going over the bushes. There we go.
Yeah.
And cuts up the last.
This is, I think, a very good round. Obviously, I think we're going to see people end up being a bit quicker, and unfortunately he does have the 4 seconds added with the early rail at fence 1. But, I think overall a really good round for Gavin on this 9-year-old that's probably, moving up to this level a little bit.
So, on we go. Gavin Harley sets the pace, 62.70. As we said, there is the option there of just popping the flowers. Carl Cook down at the entrance. I think there's a little bit of an issue there. Just Eric Neves just running down, but I think all right.
They're probably figuring out a number of strides to that that little podium there. I'd imagine we'll see Carl, who's not normally one to be slow in classes like this. I can't imagine he's going to go around.
Yeah. Carl Cook sien ons by Kalinka van der Zorgvliet, the mare by Thunder van der Zoeterwoude. And, you see Carl in action a lot. He's won 2 Grand Prix here in the last 3 weeks as well.
Yeah, Carl's having a great run. We actually grew up together out in California, so I've known Carl for a long time, and this is a really exciting horse. I love watching her jump. She's, just so effortless. She's got so much scope and so much power. And Carl tends to go, be able to go quite quick. So this should be a fun one to watch.
Yeah. So Carl Cook, and this first turn again, she's just tempting you in, and as happened with our first, just cut that a little bit sharp if you're not careful.
Yeah, it's they're set quite parallel to each other, the first 2 jumps. So I think if people are trying to set up that short rollback, and I think they're getting a little ahead of themselves. But Carl set that up very well. He's going inside the mire there. That's an option. You can see the mare's got just a ton of jump.
Let's get a little bit of an idea of a time after the Southern Arches Oxa.
That 6 gets quite short there, but he did a good job fitting that in.
35 seconds landing there. Back to the Major League fences, and this fence here, a little bit of a narrowed up skinny there. That's going to be a little bit delicate going past the in-gate. And Carl, which way are you going? Whoop, dee-doo. Yep.
2, and then 4 again.
There we go, and we'll finish on a time of 57.45, so it's as simple as that. I mean, how easy do we want to make it? It goes into the lead.
I mean, honestly, watching that, it didn't look like, a big effort. He wasn't running around like a crazy person. I think oftentimes, track and being tight and efficient in your turns really makes a big difference.
Yep.
I think there's probably a second or 2 to make up, but I think for being the second horse in the ring, that was very quick.
So Carl Cook now sets the standard with Kalinka, 57.45. As I say, landing out of over fence 7, the Southern Arches fence, in 35 seconds. So we've got a little bit of a gauge there for the rest of them coming up. All part of this Major League Jumping Week. And Catherine Tyree is also part of the teams for the new Major League Jumping. So for her, team competitions coming up over the next couple of weeks, but here a chance to wind up and head out on Newton, the gelding by De Montesemi.
Yeah, I think this one is actually one of the younger ones in this class. He's only 8 years old, but again, a huge talent. Kat bought him earlier this year from the Steph X stables. He was one that Daniel Deusser was riding, and I think it's a really exciting one for Kat to have and bring along and produce.
And again here, she's got the option to ask
was
as much.
quick there.
Yeah, I'm going to say ask as much as she likes, but this 8-year-old seems pretty settled in.
Yeah, you know, I think he's definitely looking up to the challenge. She's not being slow by any means. That rollback from 3AB to 4 was very slick there. I think when you have one that's as careful as this horse, and she does the leave out there actually, you know, you can really have a shot at it. It's nice to be able to teach them, you know, when they're at this age to go a bit quicker rather than having to wait once you get up to a certain level and having to do it at that point.
Back we come, and
I think she's gonna.
Oh, just touched that. So going to be 4 seconds to her, but they all seem to be squaring up to jump the plants now. So takes the last on an angle. 4 seconds to add. It's 63.92. But overall, I think she'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I think she'll be very happy. You know, I think she was honestly probably thinking a little bit about the line to the last jump, because you do have to. It's set a bit square off the turn there, and it's a little bit to the right at that angle actually. So I think maybe she just got a touch ahead of herself there. But the horse jumped a lovely round for 8 years old at this level.
Yeah,
she'll be really excited about that, I think.
Yeah, very nicely done. And from Katsari to Brianne Gutalmato. Brianne from Palm Beach, and it is her own Viva Colombia, the mare by Couleur Rubin. And this has been a horse that she's ridden in World Cups very successfully, and been up there in a lot of big Grand Prix with this horse. So it'll be interesting to see, with a little bit of an older horse here, in fact 16 years of age, she can let fly.
Yeah, you know, this is one, like you said, Brianne's been riding for a couple of years. They know each other very well. It's a horse that has, you know, a very good record, obviously being that age and competing at this level. So I'll be interested to see if Brianne does end up going a bit quicker, if she's maybe, you know, aiming for the 5-star tomorrow, and this is sort of more of a setup class for that.
Yeah, a couple of options for her here.
Yeah, it looks like she's probably just going to go for a bit of a nice canter around. You know, I think Brianne just got here this week. She was actually at Junior Hunter Finals earlier, and her clients did very well there. So I think this is probably the mare's first class in this ring, and she's just going for a nice school.
Which gives us a chance a little bit to talk about what they've said here. Let's talk 6 and 7. You talked about maybe leaving a stride out there. We saw Kat just move up there. What's the thinking?
Yeah, I think, you know, if you have one that's really quick off the front rail, as far as the line from 6AB to 7, you know, it walks a nice 6, a little bit easy, actually, as you saw with Carl. He got there a little bit early, but again, his horse is so quick off the front rail there. And Kat's horse has such a big step and is such a big mover. I think for her, you know, she got such a good jump out of the double that she was able to just land and continue up there in the 5. Again, sometimes it's not necessarily quicker. I think she was still a bit behind Carl's time. But it just depends, you know, what ends up suiting your horse best at the end of the day, and, you know, being able to leave the fence up. Yeah,
Brianne coming on a steady round, as you say, just really getting set up for tomorrow's Grand Prix. Leaves them round at a time of 73.66 for Brianne Gutalmato and Viva Colombia, but again gets them nicely warmed up for tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, that mare jumped a fantastic round. I think as far as the jumping tomorrow goes, I think she's always one to look out for, but based on the way she jumped around this track just now, I'd say, you know, she's definitely going to have a good shot at the class.
Well, we can see them just having a little spin around. It's Alex Granato out there. Alex with the Bright Lights Group's Disco Superfly. Great name for a horse.
Yeah, it's a fun one. Alex was our winner yesterday, and he's just not, I don't think he knows how to go slow, to be honest. This isn't a horse I have seen a lot of.
It's a 9-year-old.
But yeah, so I mean, obviously he's out here, you know, giving it a bit of experience as well. But again, Alex just doesn't know how to go slow, and you can see him even here.
Really? I hadn't noticed.
Getting a good wind up, yeah.
He's getting out, and you can see him already shaping that angle from 1 to 2.
Yeah, 4, 5. He ended up on the 10 there. I think Carl was on 1 less, actually, but this horse is really quick across the ground.
Yeah, superb round from him and Calcium W to win the jump-off class here yesterday. This horse is jumping really well considering the pace that he's keeping. And again, that's the difficulty, is keeping the shape all the time, isn't it, without getting too flat out there. Let's look at the time. He's just a fraction back actually from Carl Cook.
Yeah, you know, again, he is on a 9-year-old, so this one doesn't have as much experience as Carl's horse in these sort of classes, but it's definitely holding its own.
Yeah.
And like you said, you know, when you're keeping this pace up and this sort of speed, it's a little easier with a more experienced horse. You know, I think he just got a little caught out there on that turn back a little bit deep. But, you know, a little bit of older horse, more experience, is used to keeping it shape around a track like this at that pace.
Well, there we go. Just the 4 seconds to add for that Pinecone Oxer there. So 65.14 final time for Alex Granato and Disco Superfly. Daniel Rija of Mexico will take a spin next. Carl Cook's time you can see up there on your screen in this Innovo Development Group sponsored class. Innovo Developments with a host of developments, including on the waterfront here in Traverse City. And Alex Granato just heads out, makes way for Daniel Rija Jr. to be exact. And this is Tentacion La Cia for the young rider.
I think Daniel, if I'm correct, I think he's actually still an under 25 rider.
Yes, he is.
So I would say he's one of the younger riders in the field today, but he, you know, has quite a bit of experience considering his age. So I think he'll definitely, you can see him getting going here. He'll try and lay down a quick round.
Gets out to the edge of the arena, and again, so they can cross over here. If he pulls this off, that's good.
Oh my!
Yes, he does.
That was impressive. 6 strides on the rollback there.
Which we were saying, what, 10 for some of the others?
Yeah, Alex just did 10 actually, and I think Carl ended up on 8 or 9, but still 2 strides off of the...
Ooh, a little rub there.
Sometimes that might just help him, though.
Yeah.
I think if they just nick the rails in the right way. Ooh. You can see him fitting the 6 in there. Just the land.
Lands out of there quicker than Carl.
That was short there.
Ooh. Too short.
Yeah, just didn't quite have time to get up around that vertical. It's quite tall at the Major League fence there.
Still a chance to be in the money though, being a table C. He's going to go the bushy route, and time-wise it's still going to be very good. He's got 4 seconds to add 54, so he goes to 58.68, and only just finishes behind Carl Cook there. His time 57.45. That was a long way up.
Yeah, I think he took 3 seconds off of Carl's time before the rail, which, you know, gives you an idea that they can be under the 55 mark. I wouldn't have said, honestly, after watching Carl go, that there was that much time to pick up, but that turn from 1 to 2 was spectacular.
Well, let's go on to Lacey Gilbertson of the USA, the Seabrook LLC's Bizarre Smale, the mare by Iowa, for Lacey from Lake Forest, Illinois. And she's just having a little practice. It always throws me when they jump a fence. Not jumping a fence, just having a little pop over the bush.
It's nice to be able to do that, and you know, I think it's something that we don't see very often. In the last couple of years, sort of memorably, Adrian Stern liked, obviously, and I believe it was a 5-star class in Wellington.
Yeah.
Jumped sort of a big row of bushes, and then people sort of followed suit.
Yeah.
But you know, if it's not flagged, it's not an obstacle, so you can go out there and do that as many times as you want before you go in start the.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just a part of the decoration on the course, so why not? The trouble is now they've all done it, they're sort of forced into it, really.
Exactly. I think it's nice, though, if one of the first riders does it. You don't, as a rider, sometimes you don't see things like that until someone else does it.
Yeah.
So, you know, having it come early in the class, if you were one of those riders who hadn't seen it, and then you know, someone comes 5 after you and does it, you sort of feel like you've left something out there that you could have done a bit more.
I'm not sure it was completely intentional, but it was definitely spotted early on when they were walking the track, and it was, okay, right, fine.
Lacey looks like she's on a quick round here.
Yeah.
Missed her split, but if she can keep it to a clear, she shouldn't be far off the pace.
57.45 leading time, and if she's going the short route, which she is, keep coming, could get close to second.
One more there.
Yeah. 58.88, Gibthio, the gelding by Coleman, spent his time in California this year as opposed to usual base in Portugal, over in Europe.
Yeah, we got to see a lot of Luis, obviously. I competed out at Thermal this spring, and he brought a couple horses over with him and was thinking about heading home and decided to stay. You know, I think obviously the draw of this horse show here in Traverse City and what the organizers and Major League have done with this is really incredible. So it's nice for him to, you know, stay and have a couple Europeans over on the circuit with us. That also was very fast.
He is very capable of shaking this up yet. You say had a good run down in Thermal, including winning a Grand Prix there. He's been a championship rider for the Portuguese for a long time.
A little bit off that oxer, but this horse, you know, again, is one of his bigger jumping. I saw it jump a couple of the Grand Prix out at Thermal, and it's got all the scope, as well as being a quick horse. Oh, it's too bad.
And again, it's finding that balance, isn't it? You want to race, but actually, you've still got hurdles in the way.
Yeah, and there's room in that combination. But again, you know, when you get such a big jump in and have that sort of pace, it obviously makes the distance that much shorter.
Little hop through there, and there we go at the last, easily enough over the finish. 59.44 goes up to 63.44 for Luis Semino Gonçalves and Camino Imperio Gipsio. And look down here, you can see the angle they're taking that last fence at.
Yeah, and you can see how much height that horse gave the last jump as well.
Whoop. Do we want to go there or don't we want to go there?
You know, it's funny, sometimes surprising them a little bit and not actually showing it to them works, you know, for some horses. I think most of the riders that have done it have come in and either popped over it or, you know, at least let them see it sort of thing. Bliss, I think, is one of the ones that hasn't actually jumped it yet, but this pair is extremely fast.
Yeah.
When we were speaking before the class, actually, I think this was my pick.
Yes.
So
I mean,
I'm not to jinx her.
I'm going to say I'm not putting you on the spot, but yes, this was your pick. Bliss here's and goodbye for the US rider. Good run back down in Wellington and recently in 5-star classes in Europe as well, and she is motoring.
Yeah, this horse is just, again, a naturally fast horse. She's getting away with a few lucky rubs here and there, but this is a really good round so far.
Yeah, but as you say, in that double, it just starts to get a little bit tight.
Yeah, I think, you know, again, when you carry that much pace in and it just sort of, you end up landing a bit further in and making that, even though it's not necessarily a short distance, it just makes it that much shorter.
Whoa, what's a flower? And she gets the other side and she's keeping coming.
Then she does the 3.
And this is going to be really fast if she pulls it off. This she does. 55.13. She was in the time bracket of Daniel Rehan a little bit earlier on, but she didn't have a fence down. 55.13. You can certainly pick them.
You know, it's nice. I'm lucky. I've seen a lot of this combination, and they're a very fast pair. And Bliss is the only rider so far to have done 3. I mean, she just saw such a great one to that second to last jump at that oxer, and her horse was with her every step. So that's, you know, I think Daniel was that touch faster, but it's hard to say if you can be a bit faster and still be clear. So
they actually look as though they're having fun with this.
I have to say, this format is always a fun class, you know, because it promotes you to go that much quicker. Even if you have a fence down, you want to maintain the pace. It's not necessarily that you have to let off after having one down.
And on to Nick Delajoyo and Calvador Z, our 10 of about 24, in fact, to go in this class. And Nick with the stallion by Calvaro Z. Well, Bliss Hears has really set a target now for them. The question is how many of them really want to go chasing it. I think Nick going to go for a nice little tidy turn between 1 and 2.
Yeah, that was a very good rollback turn there. And, you know, this is another horse that has a lot of experience at this level and in these classes. He's owned by Ken Dickey of Rocking D Ranch, who also owns Opium that Nick is going to do, I believe, tomorrow. He was clear yesterday.
Jumped well yesterday.
Yeah, jumped really well. And Nick's definitely not one to, you know, not have a go.
And interestingly, time-wise, he is not too far away, actually.
Yeah.
But again, he's just keeping really efficient all the way around.
Yeah, you know, smooth is fast, and fast is smooth, as they say. And, you know, Nick is definitely very good at that.
It'll squeak through here, and leading time 55.30. Not going to quite get there with that. Just pulls away the final fence. 57.90. and is going to have the time to add onto that as well with the final fence there. So what's that going to be, about 60, 61.90 for them, for Nick De La Joyo and Calvador Z.
Yeah, that was too bad. I think he just, you know, again with that angle a little bit at the last jump, you kind of have to hold it there, and I think the horse just got a bit rushed, clipped it behind.
Bliss here is then leading the way with Goodbye on 55.13. So, taking us on to Georgina Bloomberg now, the Gotham Enterprises of New York's Manhattan, the homebred horse by Metropolitan. Now, she's won a lot of big speed classes alongside Grand Prix, of course, and much more besides, but this is where she could really excel here and give Bliss a little bit of a shock, maybe. Let's see.
Yeah, and it's nice to see, you know, this is one that you mentioned is a homebred. So the Gotham has had this horse, you know, obviously from birth, and Georgina knows him very well. It's one that they've produced up through all of the young horse classes. And so it's nice to see, you know, an American bred horse jumping at this level. It's too bad he just sort of hung up in the air through that double there.
So for her, just on the 4 at the moment. Here this week as part of the 5-star jumping. And yeah, she's going to go around.
Yeah.
There we go. And we'll just add the 4 to the score. 68-16 there for Georgina Bloomberg and Manhattan.
See if they'll show a replay.
Yeah, just coming to the final fence there, and was able to get square to it on the route that was expected.
Definitely the safer bet at that point. You know, I think some people obviously won't elect to keep going quite that fast, and you know that is a risky thing to try and do. So she just didn't quite think it was worth it at that point.
Yeah. And I think we're going on to Andrew Wells as we skip through this class. And Andrew Wells with the Evergreen Stables and Action. There's a mare by Action Breaker, 9-year-old as well. And it's looked a very promising horse so far. It'll be interesting to see how they handle this.
Yeah, I saw this one for the first time in Kentucky. It's I believe, a relatively new ride for Andrew, but it definitely looks like it'd be very, very quick in these classes. A good turn back there. Just cut down a little bit over that back rail. You can see though Andrew has a great program. This horse is so shiny. You can see it cantering around. It's like gleaming. That's going to be an exciting one for him to have. Shame about the rail, but I think that pair looks like it's going to go on and win a lot of classes together. He was very quick there on the roll back to 4.
And so 62.88. And there we go. So Andrew Wells heads on out. Andrew going into 7th place so far. Bliss Here's leads. Carl Cook 2nd. Daniel Rehan 3rd. So it is on to Mexico. Francisco Pascal of Mexico City. Manzano by numero 1. Should I start that again? There's a large group of people here from Mexico.
Take 2, yes,
Take 2. Yeah. Not my first blooper of the week, don't worry.
I'll have one before the end.
But it's good to see, isn't it? I mean, there's a large group of riders from there. You've got a lot of you have come across from California as well, a lot for the first time.
Yeah, you know, I think that it's so nice having a facility like this. I think what the group behind the Traverse City Horse Show has done with the facility is amazing, and I think it's just so great for the sport. You know, what Kian and the other people behind Major League Show Jumping have done, bringing so many 5-star shows to North America and really highlighting the sort of premier facilities. So it's nice to see, you know, people sort of being willing to travel and make an effort. You know, we came out here for these 2 weeks, and I'd love to stay. Because, you know, it's one thing when people sort of talk about it, and then to show up and have it even exceed your expectation is, you know, really great. So it's nice to see people out supporting these shows.
Yeah. This is going pretty quickly as well. Ooh, and just clips that. And that's the thing. It's a little dangerous line there too. Just very easy to just start opening up on there and just clip a fence. 58.03 goes to 62.03 there for Francisco Pascal of Mexico. Drops him into 6th place so far. But, I mean, Bliss Hears was the one that really tackled that Pinecone Oxer with gusto.
And I think, you know, she got her eye on it so early after that skinny vertical. And, you know, I think maybe some people are getting caught out because it's sort of towards the end of the course and you're headed away from the gate. And I think the horses maybe drop behind your leg that little bit. So you either end up a little bit closer than you want. But Bliss was just carrying so much pace, and she saw it so early to move up to and was able to leave room there to help her horse jump around the front. It was really well done.
Lauren Crooks just having a little pop over the bush. Maybe we need to put more bushes, hedges back in. Who knows?
You take it back to the fox hunting days.
Exactly.
Very English of
We're
you.
going old school. We're going old school today. And Lauren Crooks with the Crooks Show Jumpings at Louisiana. The mare by Mako de Muse. Winds up here.
Yeah, this is another fast pair. Lauren's a great rider, and she's very quick. So, 4, 5, 6, 7. Already on a good pace here.
Now again, just as a guide, want to be coming past the Southern Arches fence in about 34 seconds now if they're going to have a standard chance. That's good.
I think she's going to have to be a bit quicker.
Yep.
She's a little slow up to this green double. 32.
Moves up to that, but yeah, not too far away.
Just a touch off.
Yeah.
Bliss was very fast in the last two, so she's going to have to.
And I think that's the thing. We can gauge it against, you know, the Southern Arches fence, but actually Bliss was so quick through the last couple.
Seen a good one here.
On the angle. 55.13 leading this one for a good place as well, and that stayed up there too. 57.72 Lauren Crooks and Louisiana. Good solid round from them, and puts them into 3rd place at the moment.
Yeah, that was a really nice, you know, it was very smooth to watch, very even everywhere, everything matched. I think she'll be happy with that.
So, top 3 is Bliss Hears, Carl Cook, Lauren Crooks at the moment. Daniel Rehan has been dropped into 4th place now. He's the quickest though up there with 4 seconds added. If we'd taken his time off, yes, he was 54.68, so he was quicker than Bliss. But that's what makes the difference. So, let's go on to Nicolette Hurt, also from California. Iron Horse Equestrians at Chateau 7, the gelding by Chaco Blue.
And it's interesting because I think of the 14 we've seen so far, we only actually have 5 clear rounds without any time added, and 3 of those are in the top 3.
Yep.
This is a big scopy horse, and you can see Nicolette's not. Maybe it's not the quickest type in this class, but she's still doing the inside turns and leaving strides out in places. Got down that 5 easy.
And again, that's the thing, is playing your own strategy, isn't it? It's, well, I can take strides out here and here, but I can't necessarily go at the same ground speed as another horse.
This is another one that just did 5 down to the Southern Arches. I think only our second one we've seen actually have done it. But, you know, this horse has such a massive step, and sometimes that can be deceiving. I think even if it's a bit of a slower mover around some tracks, you know, being able to leave steps out and still being very smooth about it can be very quick.
She's going to go on the outside.
Here, yeah. I think she knows that she's not really, you know, on a type of horse maybe that's going to go out and catch Bliss and her time. So just having a good. I a nice round.
Yeah, nice round to go into 8th place. And again, if you're going to go and take the short route, you want to be sure you're on one that's going to take it on.
I know. Fortunately, we haven't seen anybody yet that hasn't won a play as far as that goes.
There we go, little pop over there in practice for Rodrigo Lambre. Marionettes de Pleasure by Diorado. But yes, you don't want to be the one that doesn't pull it off.
No, I say you'll be jumping and your horse will be looking at you laying on the other side of it, if that's the case.
Very good combination rider, also featuring later in the Major League show jumping event.
Yeah, Rodrigo's another one of our riders that's come, international riders, rides for Brazil, and he, has a ton of experience in a lot of teams, Nations Cups. This is a horse I don't know very well, but it's wow.
It's been with him for a good while, but I mean, comes from a whole family that are steeped in equestrian sport. His father rode in World Cups, his brother rides at the top level as well, and just a little back from time, a couple of seconds back from the leading pack at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like he's going quick, but not quite, as fast as this pair can go. Oh, that was too bad. Just clipped that behind.
Yeah, knowing he's had a fence, he's going to go on the outside route. Picks a bit of pace to the last, and 4 to add, 66.58 for Rodrigo Lambre there and De Pleasure. Hurdle finish for them, goes into 14th place overall. Bliss here still leads, Carl Cook second, Lauren Crooks in third. Just around 6 left to go as we go on to Julio David Vena now of Mexico City, Baccarat.
I think this is actually Sam Walker.
I think it's Sam Walker, isn't it? Yeah,
Coralisa,
we've skipped one over because it's Sam Walker, Coralisa for the Marble Hill Farm. Now this will be an interesting pair because they've done a lot together. They come right through the ranks together, and I think Sam will give this a spin.
I think so too. Sam's. I think he's had 2 Nations Cup appearances now for Canada, I believe, down in Wellington, and he
won a class here a couple of weeks ago.
18 or 19. He might actually be one of our youngest competitors in this class, maybe aside from Daniel.
Yeah.
But he definitely, for his age, has a ton of experience, and this is a very fast pair, and they know each other very well.
Of course, he came through brilliantly in the equitation ranks here in the US as well, but just shaping this first turn. Oh, keep going. Nah.
Just got a little stuck there. I think he tried to be very short, and it just didn't quite show up. But he's still going to try and be quick, which is the nice thing about this format when you have an early rail.
Yeah. Yeah, you still got a shot.
Yeah, it's better to have one early than have the last jump and you can't make up the time. That was very quick there. This horse really backed up in that combination.
Sam keeping on steaming through at the moment. He will have those 4 seconds to add. Now it's going to be 8 seconds to add, and that does make it a different story.
Quite a bit, yeah. That's the hard thing, when you try and speed up, is you're always sort of risking getting a little bit flat and having another one.
What left to go? Remember tonight as well, 6 o'clock start for the first horse. We've got build-up from before that, from around 5:45 into tonight's Major League Jumping class. If you haven't downloaded it already, there is an app for Major League Jumping as well. You can see the start lists on there, lots of information, and you can even watch the streaming through there as well. Lots of ways to watch the streaming, whether it's Clip My Horse, whether it's Major League show jumping website tonight. You'll also catch it on Traverse City and also Horse Network there as well. So all of those ways to do it.
Yeah, the app is very handy, very user-friendly. It makes life a lot easier. So it's always nice to have that.
Vasco Flores and the Equitime LLC's Vanda Emes, the gelding by Cardento. Little clip there at the second fence for Vasco.
Vasco's electing to go around.
Yeah.
Set this up. We've seen a couple do that. I think, when they're anticipating that right turn and it just caught a toe there on the way down.
And that's the difficulty of just wanting to be on the turn, but not, as you say, anticipation, getting there too early, really.
Yeah, you know, I think, and sometimes the horses follow what you're doing rather than finishing.
Yeah.
And see, you just caught that one behind there.
And just a little touch of the last. It's going to be 8 to add. 71.20 final time there for Vasco Flores and Vanda Emes. So takes them somewhat further down the order. Still led by Bliss Hears and Goodbye. Carl Cook in second. Lauren Crooks in third. 3 left to come into the game. Germany and 2 for the USA. And when I say we've got 2 to come for the USA, looking down, we've got a very fast one to go on the end. So this is not done and dusted yet.
No, not by a long shot.
We'll keep that under wraps though. And we'll go on to Christian Heineken, Grand Prix winner last year in Ohio from Texas. NKH Cento Blue, the gelding by Centadel from Gloria Blue. There we go. That's where the name comes out of.
Yeah. It's nice seeing Christian back
Yes.
showing again. He had quite a bad fall earlier this year out in thermal, and I believe he ended up having to have surgery on his ankle. See another one with a very quick, tight turn back there to fence 2. This is a bit of a bigger horse, but he's very fast still, and quick across the ground and through the air. Ooh. Christian definitely having a run at it. I don't think he's going to be far off on his... Oh.
And that's the thing, it comes up very quickly there. If we got a problem at the first part, the likelihood of the second one is pretty high.
You know, it is a bit of a bigger horse, and I think carrying that much pace in, he was just trying to maybe come in a bit closer, you know, to help with that short distance inside at B, and it just caught up with him a little bit there.
He's still coming the shorter route because you may well pick up some prize money for that. It is ran in final time 66.89 with the 8 seconds added, puts them into 15th for Christian Heineken and NK8.
You know, so you can get behind your favorite rider and favorite team and be able to follow them throughout the season.
Exactly. And Crusaders with the prime draw. And if you're not sure who's on the Crusaders, the easy way to find out, have a look on the app. There you go.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Sean Cassidy is also part of the teams and gets underway for him. And unfortunately, second fence for Sean.
Just another one that got caught out, I think, a bit on that short turn back, and not quite having it show up how they wanted.
So still leading the way, Bliss Hears and Goodbye. But we'll see, because we're the one on the end. I'm not going to say this is done yet.
Yeah, I don't know. If I had to pick someone who was going to give her a run for her money, it would be that pair.
Yeah.
They're certainly no strangers to these sort of classes.
Sean Cassidy on the 8 seconds to add at the moment. Just clips another one there, I'm afraid. It's one of those classes as well. It happens all very quickly, and just an error in there, or if it's just not quite in your rhythm at any point, it starts to snowball.
Yeah, and I think, you know, this is a new pairing for Sean. So I think they're getting to know each other, but definitely an exciting one.
Yeah.
Ones to keep an eye on, and watch. But like you said, in speed classes like this, the idea is that you're going quick, so everything comes up that much quicker. And you know, when you have one, I think it's hard to sort of bring it back from that and maintain the level of speed.
So let's maintain the speed, because the last to go is Kristen van der Veen of the USA. Kristen with Bull Run's Fastino de D and the fabulous Stallion by Berlin. Frosty is one of the fastest around, and also features tonight in the Major League Jumping. I think I did some quick maths, and a horse that's won something like just over 40 international classes.
I don't think you're wrong. I thought it was in the 30s, so I guess we're both close.
We're about close.
Yeah.
It's about 40.
But they, you know, are no strangers to winning classes like this. And Kristen's another one that sometimes they don't necessarily look like they're blazing fast, but she's just so quick, and they know each other so well. And you can see even in that rollback, you know, she got a little deep, and he's able to just power out over the back rail there. 6-7, wow.
Steadies to make sure here. Good tight turn again, that indicator coming out after fence 7 around about, you want to be around about 34, 33 if she's going to be up with Bliss Hears, but Bliss was so quick across that second part. She's not far away, she landed there in 33 seconds.
And she ended up on 5 there, so that could just be a little bit of a difference maker.
And that stays up, it's going to come down to here. I'm almost sure she's going to go the short route as well. Oh, she's going round. Interesting. Going to the last and still with a very good chance though, and it could still be quicker, and it is quicker, 54.77. They all went the short route, but it was the winner that showed you can still take the outside line, skip around there, and still be the winner.
I think that's her 3rd win of the day today as well. She's, if I was a betting woman, I'd probably put some money on her for the team's event for later. I'm not saying I'm not, I'm just saying if I were. I'm not going to, I should say. That was a great round.
Yep.
You know, it's nice to see a horse as well that's a bit older. I believe he's 16 this year.
Yes.
You know, to still be having so much fun and be healthy, and Kristen and her team do a good job managing him. So congrats to her. That was a fantastic round.
Yeah, super job. And Kristen van der Veen, Borens Fastino de T. Frosty takes another class. I think that might have put us up to the 40.
Yeah.
There we go.
41.
So it is a win for her. It was a very good effort by Bliss Hears to finish in 2nd place there in the end. We can see on the leaderboard. Carl Cook finishes in 3rd with Kalinka. Lauren Crooks, Louisiana in 4th. And Daniel Rehan, good effort from him. He had 4 seconds to add in there. In fact, his final time, what was it? 54.68. He still would have won it. Yeah.
Great for a young rider like that to be so competitive in this group. Probably moving up to this level as well.
Yeah. Lacey Gilbertson, Byzant Smale in 6th, Nick Delajoyo 7th, and Francisco Pascal of Mexico in 8th. Mavis, thank you.
Thank you. I will be jumping this next class, but then I'll be tuning in to watch the first of the Major League team events this evening.
And everybody will be tuning in tomorrow morning to hear you with me as well.
Yes, 8 a.m. bright and early for the 5-star class.
We will be, your breakfast entertainment. Let's do that on a Sunday. Breakfast entertainment coming to you from myself and Mavis Spencer tomorrow morning. And thank you. Good luck for the rest of the day.
Cheers.
And enjoy. Thank you. Good luck. Well done. And congratulations to Kristen van der Veen. Borans Fastino de Tilly wins the Innovo Development Group 145 5-star speed.